Hey there, everybody. I'm going to take my glasses off so it's not reflecting everything. To give my eyes a second to adjust. I should have already done that, to tell you the truth. But I'm getting to everything late. Everything's late. So, this video is going to be about showing you guys my ideas on how to carve some of the opalized wood from Indonesia. This stuff right here, I'm not sure if it's going to flash at you. Probably not from that distance. But some of this stuff right here, some opalized wood from Indonesia. And to do that, we need a rotary tool. And I want to use some 400 grit bits. And I said this on one of my other videos, but the reason I want to use 400 grit bits is because it will lightly take the sand and mud off, and then if there is a thin layer of really nice opal color, then you can leave it and polish it and get it just started grinding with this and not burn right through it like you would if you had, say, an 80 grit burr or a 100 grit burr. So I'm gonna start with this set right here. There's nothing special about this set. It's like $6 or something online. And how I'm going to pick the piece of wood that we're going to be working with, or you know what, before I get to that, I'll show pictures of this stuff as I'm pulling it out. There is really good color sometimes on top of some glass, or I call it glass. There's some really good color sometimes on some of the muddy opal wood. I shouldn't say muddy. Gosh, I'm really screwing this up. There's some really good color on some opal that will be the color of brown and sometimes over top of mud or sand you'll see below it, but the color on top, it'll be so strikingly great, like this piece right here that's on top of some of that, that it's really worth keeping. That's all up to preference, and how much color you're going to find below that is all a gamble. Like, for instance, this piece of wood that you see right here has some really nice color running through the opal that has some sand in it and stuff like that. And then at one point, there was nothing but the sand spot, and I kept going and I kept going. There was no color, no color, no color. And I got all the way to the wood. And there's not very much color in that wood in the center right there right now. So you might end up burning through the only color you have by going to the center of the going all the way down to the wood, is what I'm saying. That's a possibility. The other possibility is you might get down to the center of the wood or to the wood, and the center of the wood and the wood itself on the outside might have really nice flashes of color in it, like this one does right here. I'll show up a blown up picture of this either over my face or right next to my face. So there is that possibility, and it's all a crapshoot on that. It's all a gamble, and I don't know what's going to happen with this piece we're going to be working with. I haven't done anything yet. I'm going to shoot this in sequence if I can. I started shooting this video before, but I scrapped all of that, and I'm starting over right now. So how I'm going to pick it is I'm going to randomly grab an envelope out of here and open it up, and this is the Indonesian opal wood grab bag, and I'm going to pull one of the grab bag selections out of here, and I'm going to take it off of my Etsy store, and this is going to my patron for March. This is the patron's March drawing, is going to be one of these Indonesian pieces of opal wood that I'm going to start carving in this video right here. So I'm going to check and see how this video looks and sounds, because this was supposed to be a test, and I just started going because I wasn't thinking, and then I'm going to pull that out. All right, so let's open up one of these, and let's see. Close my eyes, and it's just a box, right? And that one. Sort of wide and fat feeling, but it's got bubble wrap inside of it, and this one is totally going to one of my patrons. This is the patron drawing piece. Let me get a... Wow, that light's really slamming right there, isn't it? Let's fix it like that. not near as big as I thought it was going to be when I grabbed the package. Probably 15 to 20 carats by looking at it before we start working on it. That's good. Here's what it looks like after getting wet. And I am going to be using a 400 grit sort of pointed bit, but I'm not going to be using the point. I'm just going to be using the shaft, and I'm just going to be using it lightly to take off the mud or the mud, rock, sand, whatever, clay, and try to expose color. The better the color, I'm going to try and avoid those spots for polish. Let's get started, man. And I can already see flash in this right there and right there. And the opal in this kind of stuff can end up being almost just off the color of the mud, but still sort of a brown, grayish brown almost. I'm just going real lightly over top of this, watching the mud sort of disappear. Let me adjust my light right here. Hope that didn't mess up the lighting for you guys. While I'm doing this, I want to keep my eye out for anything flashing colors, or if the mud that I'm cleaning through, the sand I'm going through, gets hard or starts to change color from this baby poop brown to a chocolate brown almost. Not quite chocolate, more like a gray chocolate. Then you're getting more into some of the glass too. The silica, the opal silica. I can see some flashy right there, but not a lot. So I have taken off most of the thick layers of mud, and you can see the difference in color between the brown of the mud and then that color of glass right there. That's almost like a gray, off black, brown sort of color. You can see some of the color starting to, some of the fiery flashes starting to show up too. And at this point I'm starting to see the fiery flashes a little bit on the back, and a little bit in this area that still has what looks like a nice thick layer of mud on it, but it's really not. It's sort of opal mixed with sand, and there's some colors you can see right there flashing through some of it. So at this point I'm going to use the same bit, and the reason I like this burr is because the shape of it. I like the conical shape, but I also like that it's has the ability on the end to work almost like an engraver, so I can just sort of vibrate it on some of the sand areas that are small, and a lot of times it'll just sort of get the dirt out of there and leave the glass, which is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to keep going over this, and now I'm going to go over it really lightly because it's really easy to burn through the flashes of color, and I want to avoid doing that. So I'm just going to go over it real lightly, and I'm specifically going for the areas I don't see color and there's still that mud looking baby poop brown color of dirt and sand. And I'm going over that real lightly because that can have opal on it that is really, really pretty colored and super thin, and then you go through that and it's nothing but mud down to wood and nothing after that. So you sort of have to pick and choose when you're on some nice color that has sand behind it, whether it's worth the risk to get rid of it in that area or just leave it there because it's so freaking pretty. Because that's what we're going for, so freaking pretty. Like right there, I think you can see what I'm seeing, right below where the water's splashing. There is a nice fire of red that just showed up right in the middle of the mud patch. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm just using the tip, and I'm just sitting it and just going across that area of dirt right there, hoping that it just sort of starts popping up and floating away for me. But sometimes it won't, and it'll just get deeper and deeper and deeper, and you'll cause yourself a problem. So you sort of have to, once again, decide whether it's worth just to keep drilling a singular hole in there, or whether you're just going to have to leave that little bit of mud or dirt there, or whether you want to. Sooner or later you'll just get down to wood. The other thing is circular motions. Circular motions give you that sort of rounded polish grind on it, so you don't just have like flat spot or divot ground in there. Whoa, lost the stone there. See, in that little area that was flashing in that mud right there, most of that flash is gone now, and I'm still going through mud. That's right, on this piece, it has such a nice area of opal, colored opal with black in it and color showing up, that I'm gonna have to deal with some of those muddy areas. Sometimes it's not too big of a deal. Still gonna be pretty.